Hello, this is Dias and a new author story from my channel Russian Revenge Story. I've been looking for you for so long. Where have you been before? Mikhail was smiling on the phone. Max, how many years, how many winters, how long have we not seen each other? His interlocutor shouted cheerfully into the receiver. 10 years, an eternity. I already called Sasha. We definitely need to get together. This is not up for discussion. We can even do it today, to the bathhouse and all that. No, Mishka, it won't work out like before. I'm an exemplary family man now. I have 2 daughters, a beautiful wife, so only a proper family dinner. Sasha agrees. He says he'll be happy to come with his wife and son. And you still haven't gotten married? Mikhail was somehow stung by this question. He was more successful than both Max and Sasha put together, but in his personal life he was a complete failure. He tried. Once he almost got to the registry office, but at the last moment he decided to find out a little more about his bride. It would have been better not to find out. Then there was another attempt, but it turned out that it was not love for him, but for his money. In general, he gave up on this business, for which, by the way, he was constantly getting teased by Sasha, their third friend. He was good-natured, of course, but Sasha constantly wanted to marry him. No, he didn't marry, but he was very close to it. Maxim yelled, "Wow, my friend, I congratulate you. A proper, loving wife is an engine for success. So, what are we talking about then? Let's all get together with our other halves and with the children, at least once have a decent evening, and not like usual." They laughed. Despite the fact that all the friends were closer to 40, they loved to have fun, although Max had not been able to go out with them for several years, since he lived abroad. But he had a lot of friends. He and Sasha never had to be bored. It was just a pity that he only got away when his wife went to visit her mother. "Come on, let's get together at my place. I recently bought a house. We just finished registering the land. They promised good weather on the weekend." "Deal. Well then, see you on the weekend, Mish. I'm damn glad to hear from you, and I'm even more glad that you've finally decided to settle down, because you've been hanging out so freely, and Sasha and I are jealous. Just kidding. Just don't tell our wives." Maxim burst out laughing, and Misha almost sent him away. Mikhail hung up and thought. No, all this is fine, of course. Meeting with friends, having fun. But where will he get a bride? God bless him. He'll admit later that he was joking, but you can't be exposed right away. He always has to be better than everyone else. No actress will do here. Friends will see through him right away. No one from his circle will do either. Then you won't be able to shake off such a bride, and you really will have to get married, and the circle is full of sharks. What's left? The only thing left is to look for someone. Not there, not there, but then where? Misha smiled. He has almost 50 women working in his company. You just need to walk around and take a look. And you need to look not in the heads and heads, Sasha knows them all, but somewhere lower. There was only a little time left until the weekend, a couple of days. During this time you need to completely learn everything about each other, so as not to screw up. So, you need to decide today. He got up and went for a walk around the office, stopped at the accounting department. So, what does he know? The glass wall allowed you to see them all. These two are too old. This one looks like Svetoka. She's made up like she came to the catwalk, so she's hunting. Dangerous. There's a young woman by the window. She recently received a wedding present. So, everything here is in the balance. Mikhail moved on. By the end of the working day, he returned to his office, upset and angry. How is that possible? Out of so many women, he couldn't find one who could play the role of his bride. He opened the door. The girl who was dusting in a cleaning lady's uniform turned around in fear. "Excuse me, please. Lena said that you were not here, so I decided to clean up." He smiled. "Don't pay any attention to me. My working day is really over, and I shouldn't be here. I won't bother you." Misha sat down at the table and turned on the laptop. "Should I look at some agencies?" "It's not a good option." He watched the cleaning lady out of the corner of his eye. "About 28. Well, maybe even 26. She has a good figure and, at least from the side, she's very pretty. I wonder what she's doing as a cleaner. Or maybe she's just really dumb." Misha suddenly chuckled. "What? Why not? They clearly won't charge much for the service. Excuse me, what's your name?" She turned to him with a smile and looked away. "Christina, and my name is Mikhail Sergeyevich." She smiled even wider, revealing a row of snow-white teeth. "I know." Mikhail was embarrassed for some reason. And really, a cleaning lady should know the boss. "Tell me, have you been working here for a short time? I haven't seen you before." The girl, still quickly wielding the rag, answered, 3 months. I come when you're already gone." He was becoming more and more interested. She spoke correctly, no rustic or other turns of phrase. "Tell me, you don't really look like a cleaning lady. Why such a choice?" She laughed quietly. "But what about any work being held in high esteem? And what kind of stereotypes are these that a cleaning lady should be an ugly woman with a terrible smell of fumes?" Mikhail smiled involuntarily. "Well, no, I won't tolerate an ugly woman with a smell of fumes. And yet? Well, that's just how my life turned out. 3 years ago I had a son. His dad didn't want to communicate with him, and in order to somehow provide for him, I worked a lot, but I understood that I needed to study. At that time, I had an aunt who stayed with Yegor, and now my aunt has gone to her son in another city, but I'm still studying. The work here suits me, precisely because Yegorka can spend time with a neighbor at that time. Well, will this answer satisfy you?" Mikhail nodded silently. His brain was working hard. "Did I understand correctly that money is still tight in your family?" Christina smiled easily. "Well, we certainly don't have any extra. I only have this job and the allowance for Yegorka, but we don't complain. We rely on our own strength." She finished cleaning and was about to leave the office. "Christina, wait, I want to offer you a deal." She frowned at him and muttered, "You seemed like a decent person to me." He was confused at first, and then he laughed. "You misunderstood me. A purely financial deal. Well, I can't throw mud in my friends' faces. Sit down, I'll tell you everything, and you'll think about it and answer me." Christina carefully sat down on the edge of the chair. After 15 minutes, she was laughing cheerfully. "Why do you need this?" "And then what?" "Well, I'll say that you found someone better." Mikhail was also smiling. He generally wanted to smile next to Christina. She was so easy, bright, cheerful. She looked at him with interest. "And you guarantee me that nothing like that happened?" Mikhail raised his hands. "I swear." Christina sighed. "Once I was going to go to theater school. Here it is, my first role. But what about Yegorka?" "I thought of everything. You will move in with me for a few days. We need to learn a lot about each other. Yegorka will get used to me a little, so that he doesn't look at me like a stranger, and that's it. Well, let's say. And what will you say about him? Everything as it is. That his dad was afraid of responsibility." Okay, I agree. Misha almost jumped. Are you serious? Christina, you saved me from shame. Have you finished everything? Then we can go to my place right now. Well, of course. First, we'll pick up your son. 2 hours later, they entered Mikhail's house. Christina looked around. Do you live here? Yes. Alone? Yes. Aren't you scared? Such an empty, gloomy place. Misha looked around. He had never thought about what kind of house he had. He built it, gave the money to the designer, and that was it. But now he saw what Christina had said. The house really did look more like a gloomy crypt. What a bastard. He assured me that this was fashionable and modern. I'll fix him up. He'll redo everything here. Yegor walked to the fireplace and looked inside. Do you want us to light a fire? Misha looked at the boy and smiled. The boy looked at his mother, and only when she nodded did he smile at Misha. I want to. During the 2 days that Christina and Yegor spent in his house, Misha realized what it was like to come to a house that was not empty, not to spend evenings alone in front of the TV, and even how nice it was not to have to make coffee in the morning yourself. In general, he realized that he really liked all of this. But this is all just poetry, he laughed at himself. Another 2 days, and my life will return to normal. On the eve of the holiday, he asked Christina, I can't decide on a restaurant where to order food. She raised her eyebrows in surprise. You'll have very few guests. Why order? They immediately switched to you, so as not to get confused. And how? Mish, you're almost a family man. We'll cook everything ourselves. You, as the host of the house, will fry the meat, and I'll do the rest. He looked at her in a little surprise, and then smiled. Are you sure we won't fail? I'm sure. We just need to go to the store. The evening passed in a completely new format for Mikhail. The three of them cooked in the kitchen. It turned out that he had so many useful things in this room, where he used to only drink coffee. When Christina made him peel potatoes, he grinned. So, well, that's too much. I am a successful businessman after all. It's not too much. Christina laughed. Just right. Peel them, or I'll make you work on the onions. At the appointed time, cars drove into the yard. Sasha, Maxim, and Mikhail hugged for about 10 minutes. The children immediately met Yegor and ran off to run with a ball on the grass. Sasha's wife smiled. Well, let's get acquainted too. I'm Angelina. This is Olga. We, as you understand, are the wives of those two grown-up kids. Christina smiled back, although she was shaking inside. My name is Christina. Well, I have a different status for now. Come in. The men themselves arrived. Christina felt like they were looking at her. Finally, Maxim said, I can say that our Mishka has finally developed a taste. I was very afraid to see a painted doll here. Forgive me, Kristinochka. Misha poked him in the side, and everyone began to get along on the veranda. Sasha looked in surprise at Misha, who was deftly turning the kebabs. Yesterday, Christina spent about 20 minutes showing him and telling him how to do it. Mish, do you mean to say that you'll fry the meat yourself? Not only that, I marinated it myself. Sasha opened his eyes in a way he'd never opened before. Tell me that the food isn't from a restaurant. No, not from the restaurant. That mean woman made me peel potatoes yesterday. Sasha exhaled. Brother, now I believe you're on the right path. I propose a drink to that. The evening was magnificent. A couple of hours later, Angelina sighed. Oh, if only there was some romantic music now. Christina stood up with a smile and went to the piano. Misha looked at her in surprise. When she started playing, everyone's mouths dropped open. Misha only said, "Holy shit." The guests left. Christina was packing her things. For some reason she was sad, and Mikhail was feverishly looking for an excuse for them to stay at least another day or two. Yegor was sitting on his lap and nodding off. "Kristin, where are you going this evening? Yegorka is really tired. He's about to fall asleep. Let me take you tomorrow." She sat up and looked him in the eyes. "Tomorrow? Tomorrow will be even harder to leave. You get used to a good, beautiful, and kind life very quickly." Yegor fell asleep. Christina sighed. "Well, there you go. I didn't have time." In the evening, Mikhail was sitting on the terrace and counting moths. Next to him was a glass of whiskey. He was completely confused. A text message from Sasha came to his phone. "If you miss her, you'll be a complete idiot." Misha smiled, put the phone down, but it lit up again. It was a message from Max. "I'm very jealous of you with white envy. I have it all behind me, and for you it's just beginning. Don't miss your chance." Misha stood up. But why should he do what he should do, and not what he wants? He went into the house to look for Christina. Although why look for her? She's next to her son. He opened the door a little and waved his hand at her. "Go out onto the terrace." A minute later, she came and looked at him. "What happened?" "Nothing. Stay." "I don't understand." Misha turned to her and put his hands on her shoulders. "Well, what's unclear? Just stay, you and Yegor." "For a long time?" "Forever." She looked at him without blinking. "You don't know me at all. We've only known each other for 3 days. So what? I think I've known you since birth. Christine. Well, how can I explain all this to you? I don't want to be without you anymore." She was silent for a while and then exhaled. "To be honest, I was also tormented today by the question of how we would cope without you, especially me, but I decided that I could handle it." "You?" Mikhail picked her up in his arms, looked into her eyes for a long time, and then reached out with his lips to hers. "I've been looking for you for so long. Where have you been before? I was waiting for you to find me." If you liked the story, please support me with a like. And to learn about the release of new, interesting stories, subscribe to my channel. All the best to you. Thank you for watching.